Welcome back to Bazaar. I'm rather incoherent, and I just recorded a video where the entire time my OBS was set to this instead of that. So I don't really want to upload that footage for obvious reasons. If you're wondering what you missed, I wanted to showcase why you can't force cool builds, why anything involving going late game with specific strategies doesn't really work. And I wanted to showcase it by showing off the potential highest roll possible on a max health pig abusing the balcony stuff. Instead, what happened is I just got immediately killed, died on like day 10 with an arms dealer start, no less, because I was trying to force pawn shop. I was actively avoiding Crook and all of that. Went 4 wins as an arms dealer pig. It was really impressive, hard to do that. And I effectively made the case that you can't really force builds that need specific high tier items because those are so hard to find. When you're making a powerful late game build, it's fine to have a really important linchpin that you need to find, but it's not okay to have a bunch of separate pieces where you need all of them. So instead of that video, which I think would have been much more interesting to watch and have much more genuinely optimistic commentary, we're gonna record another run showcasing the other side of this coin. In my failed recording, I talked about how it's really hard to force specific late game compositions involving gold tier plus items. In this video, I'm gonna showcase the problem of the current meta, which is that it is tremendously easy to force any late game composition that is reliant on specific early game items. Because you have a much smaller pool of items competing at bronze and silver for your attention, it's much easier to find them. The 6 out of 7 chance for a Crook off of a Curio before day 5, for instance. Not Curio, Orion, I always get their names backwards. So the problem with the meta is largely that Crook, Regal Blade, and Armadillo are incredibly forceable and they're valid 10-day strategies. You can win on like a day 13 with these builds even. So I'm going to show off that and walk through the process of what's been killing the meta and making the game unenjoyable lately. I hope it's not too salty for you. I'll be handing it off to my past self and he can get into the absolute state of the meta right now. Getting right into it, on our first choice, we're going to pick up the Atlatl. None of these are valuable, none of these are good. We want a big one to sell for more gold, but the Atlatl can actually fit into a Crook build later on, and we have to play a fair game with no arms dealer. Who decided this? And I'm not Dooley, so I can't take frontal shielding and force a Armadillo. I guess we're going with strength. Medium and large on the first buy is really painful. I'm not gonna be able to afford much. I'll take my 2 gold, 1 XP happily. Here, nothing's gonna synergize with me. Kyber Drone has the highest average value because there's a lower chance of getting a skill than with Kimono. So I'll take Kyber Drone. Nothing on any of these enemies really interests me as a purchase though, or as a pickup rather. Actually, Sandstorm wasn't even relevant. We got through him with just the Atlatl. 52 is a rather large number, I suppose, even if it's every 7.4 seconds.
It's all about
and wings are pretty terrible with my one item being Atlatl. Non-weapons isn't really anything I'm interested in. Today we're showing off why you can force builds more reliably when those builds are specifically reliant on bronze and silver items. We're looking to force a build reliant on a silver item tomorrow, so going to a non-weapon shop today isn't really helpful. Now, to maximize my odds of winning the fight, I should go to middle. The issue is that I'm incredibly weak. No matter what I buy from middle, unless she gives me specifically silver Regal Blade, that's going to continue to be true. So this is a weird choice where I can either take 3 spare change to better my shops tomorrow, or I can go to middle and potentially meaningfully improve my build, but it's so specifically silver Regal Blade. A bronze Regal Blade's not really good enough. I'm still going to go there. I value the day 1 tempo so much of having a real shot at winning the fight. This is absolute dog shit. This is awful. I'm gonna take 30 health for 2 gold. The Pinata's bugged, by the way. All the higher versions don't sell for gold. The bronze version does sell for 2. Don't know why that is. I could roll and then potentially buy 2 items. I'm going to. I care about the day 1 tempo. We got the Regal Blade. We got the cash register. It's not silver, but it's a lot better than we were. And getting 3 income makes the roll very clearly worth it. We're probably still losing, though. Our build is god-awful. We have next to nothing, and our opponent has a revolver at 30% crit chance, which is probably enough to win, but we do have higher hit points than him thanks to the pig and the chocolate bars. If his crit chance is just 100% though, we will definitely lose. Interesting RNG so far in this fight. I mean, it's still winnable if he doesn't crit the next shot. No, the Atlatl's too slow, I lose. Actually very winnable fight. My opponent's build was dog shit, but he was very lucky, unfortunately. Huh. Guess it happens to everyone. I think I'm taking 2 XP because none of this really improved me. I would have vastly preferred income. And now we get into the part where it's sort of a problem how easily you can find a Crook. I don't really want to go to Atlatl because I have very limited funds, and going there could result in me not being able to find a Crook at the next vendor, if specifically it is Orion. Getting an item is good for economy, and he can give me the yo-yo. You need to find a yo-yo at some point on your Crook build. I have a Regal Blade to scale on cheap bronze weapons, so we come here.
Remorse never. Be remorseless.
And with board space, do I want to buy this thing? Not really. I get the +2 value already. This cost 1 to buy, +4. It's going to give me money after the next fight. I'm going to take it. I'm going to toss this, pick this up. I'm not going to roll an Andy. I have very limited money. If I roll an Andy and I do get the yo-yo, it's unlikely I can afford a Crook after this, so there's no point. We do not beat a Rogue Scrapper. Our build is terrible, but we do beat a Tensity Mare with ease, and that gets us 4 more value on this Crystal Bonsai. Alright, Sandstorm is finally here because unlike most Regal Blade builds, we are waiting for Sandstorm. Our damage is nowhere near online. We have sold 1 weapon for our bronze Regal Blade right now. It's not exactly doing a lot.
Believe you'll win,
and Scrap is easily one of the worst hits. At least it's not a skill, I suppose. Small and large items isn't good, but it's a chance for yo-yo as opposed to taking 2 gold. We don't want that. We want to sell this anyway. Rather than upgrading this, I would rather get the scaling on the Regal Blade and roll. Rolling's a bit dangerous. It's going to fuck up my income in the future. Or sorry, fuck up my ability to buy if I hit specifically Curio. But if I hit specifically Curio, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 gold, more than enough to roll and buy. But if I buy here to juggle, it's only giving me 10 damage to buy, and it's hurting my next shop. So I really can't afford to do that. And these are not huge hits, but 100 health's pretty meaningful at this point in the game. And while Lost Crate is generally good, I'm going to middle because chance at Crook, you know? I will gladly take a briefcase. It's very strong at this point in the game. It requires me to sell a little bit. That's fine. Do I want Jabalian Longbow? It's better than the garbage on my board. Buying it scales me up. Sure. Toss these. I need 2 more gold. And to pick up the longbow in the briefcase. We are meaningfully more powerful than we were at the start of the day, but we have not found Crook. That's fine. We have 2 more days to find Crook. We're not overly concerned about getting it right now.
I may be young for a captain, but I've
And I'm sorry if this is like a salty concept for a video showcasing why it's problematic to have incredibly reliable, forcible items at bronze and silver tier that you can build around. But it is very important to showcase that this is the problem. I cannot believe that I recorded my entire meme video trying to push Pawn Shop in the wrong fucking format so you couldn't see the whole screen. That's incredibly tilting. However, it's a bad video anyway. It's just somebody getting rolled doing terrible builds. And instead I want to show off why, yes, you can't force things at higher ranks and that's good, but you currently can with relatively ease force things at lower ranks. There are very few things in the shops before you hit gold tier. Huh, do I want this whole shop? I better not because I can't afford it. I definitely want these 2. And I can get that with just this. I don't need an upgrade on the Atlatl. The Atlatl is going to do the same thing, basically, once I get the Crook. I'm going to take 1 income rather than silver tier items with no money. I do not believe that we are going to be beating a Scout Trooper. We have 580 health, but also our board is absolutely terrible and we have no regen. We don't beat that. So we're going to go for Rogue Scrapper, who I think we can beat this day. He was too tough for us yesterday, not so much today. Which is why, of course, he's worth less experience on day 3 than day 2. But yeah, the major issue with this patch is partly the level 6 upgrade, making it easier to use a build-around item like a Crook or a Armadillo that you pick up earlier. But the bigger issue is just if you have incredibly strong build-around items in the game before gold tier, they have a lower pool of things that you can contest with them, and any vendor that curates their type of item is going to give you a much higher chance than they otherwise would at that item. It's just too easy to find Crooks. The more I've played Pig, the more comfortable I've gotten just being like, I'll find a Crook, don't worry about it, we'll get one. We go to weapons here every time. Hey, the Regal Blade is becoming our backup plan. If we find nothing else, since we got this to silver before we got to our level 6, we can now force this to diamond and rely wholly on it. Going to toss this now. I'm pretty broke, but I will roll for chance at Crook. Don't hit it. But we do hit some pretty good stuff for Regal Blade scaling.
Enjoy the thrill of battle.
I would like, if at all possible, and it is, just purchase these items and then not sell them.
I prefer
Shield,
action.
health. Wait, we have an ATM, don't we? Yes, we get 4 income. Non-weapon items is not important to me. Experience for the right price, not really the most important, but comparing that with starting shield, yeah, starting shield for the fight's pretty good. Putting these on my board is more damage than selling them for Regal Blade, I think. Barely, like it's directly comparable, but it is more on the Atlatl, somewhere on the hatchet. And I don't want to sell them anyway, because I want to wait until I hit level 6 to sell. That's not going to work. I'm not going to hit level 6 before I have to sell stuff, right? I'll take the ones that are on my board, but I am going to sell the one that's still in inventory. And I'm going to take 400 shield to maximize my chance of beating another build. For instance, a Armadillo build. Just because Armadillo hits like a truck, I don't think if his build is good, I beat Armadillo. If it's anything other, oh, it looks like a good Armadillo build. Wait, he doesn't have bunker yet. We stand a chance. He does have Uzi plus the gun with 47 shield on the Armadillo. I'm very, very glad I took starting shield, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. It's just so fucking strong. Anyway, one of us successfully found our build around before day 3 and one of us didn't. That's the difference. Clear and obvious skill difference. I'm definitely not doing the same thing as him and getting less lucky. And it is salt inducing. It's very tilting to view the game this way, where the objective, obvious best thing to do is to force for specific early build arounds. And we will happily take that flail because we're going to find a crook. It's just that easy. Upgrading my items is not very important to me, but if he does hit any of my economy or the Regal Blade, it's very good. The awkward thing is you want to sell the other items first because you don't want to upgrade them, which is worse for your Regal Blade, obviously. But I am going to do that. I'm going to toss the briefcase, toss these, and go here. Because the upgrade on the Regal Blade would be huge, and the upgrade on the ATM is still good. Unfortunately, the game just really, really wants me to waste 8 gold buying an Atlatl, and I cannot justify it. Boiler Room Brawler, huh? I'm fine with that. Hammer is incredible for every build. It's just, I really hope Hammer gets changed in some way. This is obviously a fucking insane item. It's available at bronze here. I think I've gotten it at bronze off of an event before. I could be wrong about that. But like, even if it's only at silver, the same way that Crook and Regal Blade and Armadillo are a problem right now, when Stell comes out, Hammer will be a problem. This should not be available this early. It should not be forcible. Right now, if you see Boiler Room Brawler, you take your 1 and 9 every time. 2 income's great. I've already got 13. We're going to middle. Where's my Crook?
I'm pretty late.
It's not on the first page. Not on the second page. And at this point in the past, I started like looking at things like taking the weights. That's just wrong. We're gonna look at things like full committing to that Regal Blade. But I will take a random tool, which could be a Crook. I'll also gladly take a weapon that sells for 2 and upgrades my Regal Blade. Small weapon cannot be a Crook, unlike Sterling, and we're gonna take the chance here. That is scaling, if nothing else, for our Regal Blade. Silver weights, huh? Again, in the past, I've looked at this, I'm like, maybe I should start taking things to bail. And if I had found an early bird and kept them in my bags, I would probably want to pick up these weights. But without the early bird, I have no other pieces, and it's not worth the time. We need to get some of our inventory out. Do I want... I should have considered keeping the weapons, but I honestly think I need so much Regal Blade scaling to have any chance of beating Armadillo that I would rather do it this way. Anyway, I don't know why I'm trying to do that. I should have saved those, because like I'm not beating Armadillo. Armadillo is fucking cracked, and oh my, what a surprise, it's a Armadillo build. Anyway, I don't think I'll be uploading tomorrow, because I am intensely salty about the current state of the meta. With Armadillo Crook being forced on almost every pig and dooley you see, being comically better than any alternatives available in the game, and then like half the builds having bugged interactions that are crippling, you basically can't find the pieces for Property Pig, which is good, because if you did, you'd be abusing the 20x cost multiplier on the balcony. I'll take the abandoned chest. All of the fights for Vanessa are bugged nightmares where you get countered by Armadillo on damage over time because it's bugging out on the bunker, and if you're playing the damage builds using knives and repeaters, then you're abusing a bug. It's just like bugs and balance complaints are the entirety of the meta right now, and I cannot handle it. I'm gonna work at the docks. Get a weapon, it could be anything, even a Crook. That's actually really good. I've never gotten a yo-yo from the docks, and now that I finally have, it's on a build that didn't find the first yo-yo, of course. We easily kill Mod Squad. Which is less to say that my build is good and more to say that Mod Squad is a complete and total chump. Please let me fight the Mod Squad. I could be overestimating myself. This is pretty low power for the current point. The fact that I'm still just sitting on a 200 damage Regal Blade with basically nothing else on my board, like these items don't do anything, is pretty terrible. However, if I find a Crook, these items go to the moon. And I haven't found a Crook, so it's more likely to start trying to pivot into something where it's basically Regal Blade and the rest of my board. He's scaled up a good chunk, but we're higher health. Charcoal's done a lot to me. The Regal Blade's going off. I don't know that I win this. Barely. He has 1 health! Are you joking? Oh, the flail's going off too. It's fine. He's actually saving us and letting me upgrade the Crook on my level 6 upgrade. Thank you, RNGesus. I had thought that you had forsaken me. We've been walking along the beach. There were 2 sets of footprints. And then I looked down and you weren't there and there was only 1 set of footprints and I thought that I'd been abandoned. But it turned out there was only 1 set of footprints because you were carrying me the whole time. Right, yeah, I think I'm done with this ATM. 36 gold, huh?
Hey, I use that.
You can just come over to the left. I think we're about to get an upgrade event. Could be kind of important. The yo-yo's pretty good. Going to pick this up, pick up the hatchet. I don't know there's anything on page 2 I ever want. I don't care about globe, grindstone, monocle. There's 1 other thing that's also shit, but it's not loop. It's weights. Do I want weights? No, I just got a gold Crook. I'm probably gonna get a tool and just roll into Crook immediately, right? It's that easy. It's probably better to go to medium items so I can scale up the Regal Blade and get upgrades to the rest of my board.
What can I get?
But it is pretty funny to just try to roll the 1 in 7 on Crook. I shouldn't have sold the weapon. I'm just so amused at the Regal Blade RNG that I've stopped really caring very much. Anyway, we have a build now. We do have to go to day 13 on Crook, which is scary, but not as scary as Crook is good. We sell this immediately. We're not going to be able to reliably upgrade that Regal Blade anytime soon. We need to sell 1 more coin. I think Yo-Yo is currently worse than the Atlatl. It's very, very close. I'm gonna go ahead and leave my board like this.
You do see these tusks.
If I had a secondary item like a Halati or a Brass Knuckles, it would be different. So he's just Regal Blade. I was in that life. I was considering being there. I was saved by RNGesus. My opponent does have like scaling methods, but they don't matter at all.
I guess motivation isn't everything.
The Gem and Ganjo is like a much cooler build, but just try to force this. And if you miss, I guess you get stuck where he is. He's very much in the alternative route I was talking about, where it's Regal Blade and the rest of your board. I'll go take a look at medium items. It can still be Crook. Silver Boot Traps is a bit useless at this point. I no longer care about spending money upgrading Regal Blade that much. Counterpoint, I have an absolute shitload of money.
Oh, delivery's free.
So we take those and we roll.
Exercise.
And we leave. If I get any small item weapon, my board improves, so I will go to Andy to increase my chance of winning. That is the best one I could have hit. We put the Atlatl in the bag, we move the yo-yo down to here. And we grab, move that over, we grab the Brass Knuckles.
You wanna buy that?
And there's nothing else Andy can sell me. It's already perfect. I'll be on my way. Gold Crook against the Lich. I've got the yo-yo. I don't have Arms Dealer. It's only a gold Crook. My Regal Blade's not scaled. I don't actually think I beat this. It's very, very close. And obviously 5 gold and 3 experience is massive. But getting nothing is even worse, right? Like 6, I don't really need the gold, right? The XP is pretty good. The issue is if the freeze, oh god, it's just so brutal. If the freeze hits my yo-yo or my flail, it hurts my damage so badly. I've lost to Lich with a golden Crook before, but it was on builds that missed the yo-yo. I think with yo-yo I win, and I need to know whether I'm right or wrong about that, so I'm going to take the fight. Those are very good freezes. The Brass Knuckles are probably only going to get to go off once in the fight anyway. The Crook's just a low DPS item. So we should, when the bow goes off, hey, yeah, all right, good. The fact we got our freeze when the bow went off the first time makes me more comfortable, but we do have 10 seconds left to kill the fucker, and he's got a lot of regen, so I think we do lose. Ah, it was close. We got him down to the last tick of gold. So yeah, if you have gold Crook, even with yo-yo, you're not beating the guy. He just generates too much regen these days. You're not gonna get through it. Too much poison. The new Necronomicon's just absolutely fucking crazy. I thought I might be able to do it with yo-yo, but it's not good enough. And I'm fine throwing it a little bit. I have a crook. I'm happy to not get experience. It'll be fine. Like, obviously, it's bad, but I need to learn when I can and can't do that. I guess we're gonna get the Diamond Regal Blade too, and this is our build. We're just locked into these two pieces forever. The yo-yo's never leaving. Flail's just incredibly good with yo-yo. This is looking to get replaced. This is looking to get replaced, ideally by Beehive, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Use it well. Make me proud.
And yeah, we're just gonna happily buy and sell all of that. Actually, the Brass Knuckles are worse than Halati. They are just slower.
More stories. Then come back and tell me.
Mr. Moreland, huh? I wish you'd shown up a single time during my previous run when I was trying to force a dumb property build. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I should just go to Cache of Riches. There's no property that... We go to Mr. Moreland for the chance at Beehive. That's the whole decision. I will take income, you know, once I make space for it, I suppose.
It's good to know.
But Beehive's the only real hit here. The rest of this, irrelevant. Keep this, toss the coins. Now that level up rewards aren't curated, it's almost always right to keep an ATM in your inventory so that you get double the value the next time you buy one. All right, Dooley, is it Harmadillo? Oh my God, it's astounding. Who would have guessed that he was playing Harmadillo? Now he doesn't have bunker, so I do stand a tiny chance of winning, but I'm not sure I'm going to. Yeah, we got through it. His Armadillo is relatively tiny, no bunker, no duct tape. He's missing a lot of really important pieces. The diamond trend core is not the way you want to go to build a Armadillo. Quite the opposite, pretty much with every Armadillo build, you're best off abandoning your core. 6 regen, docks, items. There's no item other than Beehive I care about, but rolling a random weapon at docks could get me second yo-yo, and until second yo-yo happens, I'm a gambling addict. Huh. I don't think that works for me. I don't think that's going to be a large item I put on my board, but it is funny. XP, economy, upgrade your leftmost shield. Honestly, I think I'm just taking XP to try to slowly make up for that lich loss. Curio gives me nothing I care about. He can give me a lot of weapons to scale a Regal Blade, and the Regal Blade's an important part of my build. He can also give CDR for it, fine.
Reuse,
I've convinced myself.
Relax.
Toss the Momisar, toss this. Crusher Claw, Fang, no scaling for any of those, so roll. This, toss all of these for my Regal Blade. Another weapon, Sharpening Stone, although that one will go on something else. Put the flail over, actually put the yo-yo over, what on earth am I doing? And that's it for our Curio. We go for Thug every time because Bonk is just a game-winning skill. So often your opponent's builds rely on really intricate synergies, and lowering their cooldowns, or increasing their cooldowns rather, just crushes the synergies they're built around. It's also just good in general. If you're trying to get under a defense, it's really good for making their defense happen a second later. There's no world where Bonk is not crazy.
Not all Jabalians are pacifists.
Interesting question. Should I take spices over the Halati? The Halati increases my burst at 6 seconds. Spices doubles my damage output at 9. I've never run spices on a Crook build before. I don't think it's particularly impressive, but I am gonna take it. We're gonna keep going to Quicksil, I think, because shield skills are irrelevant and Cache of Riches is, like, I have so much gold. We're just looking for a Beehive here. It's very unlikely we get anything, but we give it a shot. And I have enough money that I will juggle these. Didn't even look at the first item. It was like, those are garbage, and didn't even think about Regal Blade, which is not the way to play the game.
Small thing.
6 gold for a juggle on non-diamond Regal. I don't think I'll take that, actually. I will take the flail upgrade happily.
That's quality.
And be on my way. Who's our opponents? No, I don't get to know yet. You get a weapon, we can get 4 income. I'm gonna take 4 income. It's another pig. One of the few things I am scared of is other pigs. However, he only has 2 wins, which implies he's doing even worse than me. My early game was just fucking abysmal with this run. So what does he actually have? He found the entire perfect weights build. This board goes 10 wins. However, right now he hasn't scaled up, so he can't out-heal the damage I'm dealing. This needs to initially heal for like 200. Once that happens, every time I do anything, he heals for 400, and that overheals charging the weights. At lower levels, though, it doesn't quite work. Pole sells large items, 8 regen doesn't matter, so we're making an investment pitch. I might just be doubling my income. Doubling my income says I never have to care about money ever again in any capacity. I can just frivolously flip every single shop for the Regal Blade, and I'm going to take that option. Get an item, chocolate bars, medium and large. I can flip anything. I don't care how much it costs. Well, it does have to be a weapon though. That part's kind of important. I do have so much money that like even though 2 for 30 is not a great rate, I do just take pinatas automatically.
This is a gift at any price.
We'll flip the golf clubs and be out of here. Wandering Shoal is the most rewards, and nothing here has any reward that I particularly care about, so we just go for max EXP, max gold as always. We were on day 8 with 7 wins. This is the easiest 10-win run of my life, but because we have to go to day 13, it's a lot scarier.
You seem like a nice person.
And we hit thick hide, huh? The heavy Atlatl just became the most game-winning broken shit in the world if we can get a hold of that. Heal and regen items, small shield, gumballs. I guess I'm going gumballs. Yeah, gumballs. I hate buying gumballs, it's so tedious, but it's fine. Best way to do it, by the way, is by putting your stuff in your stash so you don't have to open it every time you sell in case anyone else is equally frustrated by this. But it's just so many clicks where income is pretty irrelevant at this point. I'm going to take 10% max health. Bring these down, get another 30 max health it seems. Non-weapon items, small weapons, and weapons. A beehive very meaningfully improves my build. Weapons very meaningfully improves my regal blade. And this is guaranteed. This has a huge chance to miss. I'm going to go weapons and up the regal blade. I'm not going to take the chance. And we will juggle all of this regardless of cost because we're made of money after that financial pitch.
Well. Make me proud. Hey, when you carry my weapon, I
say we're made of money. We are using a lot of it here, but it's fine.
Newful teaches stillness.
So we have a 1000 damage regal blade, which does a lot to help us against Armadillo builds. He is not Armadillo. 2 wins means he is floundering. If you pick up a late game Armadillo, it's not gonna be high enough upgrade level, so I assume he never found it. He is playing Brick Buddy and a Dream, although the fact that Brick Buddy is the one non-diamond part of that Brick Buddy combo is a little bit confusing. Anyway, more importantly, he's incredibly fucking dead. There is absolutely no way he scales enough, and also, yeah, my damage does nearly double after 8 seconds. I'm surprised it went off, but it does help get over a Brick Buddy, for instance.
Now that was invigorating.
Non-weapons, shield skills, and haste items. Haste items can just be normal items enchanted with turbo, which could affect my board a lot.
I'm cuter.
This is not a meaningful amount of haste. I would rather keep the spices, to be honest. Don't care about turbo bushels. And you're just making it expensive to flip weapons at this point. None of that's interesting to me. Elder Tuscari can give me diamond skills on day 9, I think. Which means he can give me gold equals damage. So if you just want to hand that over, it's been a long time since I saw it. I don't think I've seen it since the patch at all, in fact. It might have been removed. I will take plus 600 health, though, and go crush a roaming isle. We are a ways off of leveling up. If we had killed that Lich, I think we would be getting our Diamond Crook before this fight. Also, day 9 is pretty late to still be using a gold Crook, to be honest. Usually you find a weapon upgrade or a second Crook somewhere. Thus far, we're actually pretty reliant on this Regal Blade because we've missed everything else. But hey, that's part of the reason Crook is strong, is because it's coming in alongside of the Regal Blade strats, where you're probably gonna find a way to enable one of them. Oh hey, speak of the devil. We're a lot stronger now. Temporary boost, shield per level, medium items. Medium items can not really do anything super important. It upgrades my Regal Blade, but I'm doing that in 8 experience anyway. I think I'm actually gonna take health here. I no longer care about medium item shops very much at all. Like, they can sell weapons to scale my Regal Blade, but that's a lot better tomorrow. I will happily upgrade this to gold. This bow just hits very, very hard. Oh, right, I need to be better about selling coconuts. Well, not really, because I'm getting rid of this immediately, but I should have been better about it in the previous hour. We'll also gladly upgrade the flail and take a membership card. Am I going to a lot of stores? If I'm not, or if I am, it doesn't really matter. At worst, I lose 2 gold. I'm probably making a lot more than that. Oh, right, we have the Crook. Yeah, this is at diamond now. I don't care about upgrading this bow. What am I doing? Now we put that in and move this over. Bow's out. Sorry, wasted gold. I'm gonna hold this for 40 more damage tomorrow. I feel impossibly strong for day 9 now. I can afford to wait for this to upgrade. Looking at the Vanessa, she's at the same part as me. She's lost several days. She's lost them later in the run. That's very good for me. If she were similar to me where she had lost early matches, I'd be terrified because when a Vanessa comes online, it can be anywhere between kinda good to fucking game breaking busted nonsense. So I'm glad he's just playing a fair and balanced submarine build. It's still very scary and very good for a submarine build, but at 6 seconds, the Regal Blade and Yo-Yo and Flail all just start going off, and I was about to trigger the spices after this. It's very hard for my opponents to live through the 6-second burst period. By experience, heal and regen, gold equal to your level. I'm gonna take 2 experience, because at this point we're just trying to scale health to make sure we don't blow up. Elder Tuscari, I've got a lot of income, please. Hey, there we go. I was hoping for a higher rarity of it, to be honest, but I'll still take plus 36 damage on everything, and eventually a second one. Frost Street Champion's absolutely nuts for Crook builds, because if you find a way to trigger Invigorating Cold, hasting your whole board is crazy, and otherwise, Blizzard is just one of the best skills in the game when your whole board is weapons. Oh, he's dead already. Neat. We have his most valuable item and something completely useless to us, but I'll take the gold. Upgrade your leftmost item. As stated earlier, that's going to be Regal Blade.
Moving up in the world.
253 damage off the spices 8 seconds. Now, that's a fucking lot. That might meaningfully affect the outcome of matches as we get into later days. Oh, hey, Closine, cool to see you. My bitterness might seem unplaced to you, but I just spent 40 minutes recording a video where I got rolled because I could never find Closine or any other piece of a property build to go with my diamond pawn shop. Anyway, that's all useless. Pole is useless, gumballs are useless, spare change is useless, but the least useless of the lot is gumballs. And does anyone else have a panic attack every time you're doing gumballs and you move your items to your stash? You're like, what if I misclick and sell them? Because that happens to me every single time. 5 shield gumballs in a row, huh? Definitely worse than the average gumball machine, for sure. 6? You want to make it 7? No? Okay. Well, it's still the best jump I had available, but comically worse than it should have been. Let's see what this dude's up to. I wonder if it's Bunker Armadillo. It's not. It is Armadillo, but it's a much, much worse Armadillo than you might otherwise see because he's not reflecting 200 damage every time I touch him. Also, he's dead. That part's pretty important. Armadillo is at its best with Bunker, because Bunker guarantees no one gets under you and you're countering them in the race. When you don't have the Bunker, aggro decks just race you down and you don't have time to react. And also, the Bunker being glitched and just instantly killing every damage over time build is pretty good for your matchups. 11 gold, Aerodrome, or Andy. Aerodrome it is. Skills. Skills can give me very specifically Coolant Leak. It can give me any powerful income-based skill or gold-based skill. It can give me Building Crescendo, so by the time I double my damage, I'll have 100% crit. There's a lot of good stuff on skills. I'm happy to take this. Every time I see Specialist, I'm like, what does this new skill do again? Because my brain just refuses to commit it to memory because it's so bad. If you have one weapon, gain 30 shield on your items, it's like, oh, congratulations to like, I don't know what build. What build has exactly one weapon? Wow, it gets plus 4 damage. Sick. I guess I'm gonna take 900 health. I'm gonna take Strength, and the reason I'm taking Strength is because if this game's going long, taking Strength here makes it a diamond skill, so it will never show up in a shop again. It's not that I think 8 damage is better than 600, 900 health. It's that I think 8 damage and 900 health are both fairly inconsequential, and removing this from the pool of potential skills in the future is actually valuable to me. 275 health versus more than that because it's not actually temporary. What a choice. Also, this is bugged sometimes. It sometimes fails to give health, and it's probably related to the fact that it's not temporary and I'm taking it repeatedly. But I've used it a lot and been watching it since I caught that bug on camera, thanks to whoever pointed it out, but I still don't know exactly what causes it and why it's sometimes inconsistent. I guess I'm taking a weapon. I mean, I have 36 income. Taking a weapon sounds like throwing. I would like to double my health, actually. And we crushed Lord of the Waste, it's not even close. Although realistically, I should have considered fighting Haro, because he has like the 1 in 10 at the skill where every non-weapon item gets slowed for 2 seconds when it gets used. Assault Focus, I think is the name. And that would have been massively impactful for that. Oh, well, so what you're telling me is by the time I use Spices, I have 100% crit chance. That's pretty good. What about monster skills? Good to see you, Zervin. Best vendor in the game, by the way. That's pretty good with boar market if I put my Atlatl on that. I've never seen that at diamond in my life. I can reduce my cooldowns by 10% instead. I think I already get full crit pretty immediately. I'd rather have 10% CDR on the flail and the regal blade. That's just like 5.8 goes down to 5.3. Half a second earlier is pretty impactful. I'll gladly take some more experience. I think my health's good. Oh, right, yes, I've sold all of my money. Oh, I did not go to a lot of shops with that business card, it seems. That's fine. Is health more valuable? No shot. Upgrade your leftmost weapon. Gain income. I mean, I think I'm here for damage. And I'm actually going to upgrade the Atlatl, even though it's less damage, because it makes it more resilient to slow effects. It's not high enough damage right now that it was completely immune to slow. It also makes it better for boar market in the future. He's at 8 wins. I didn't check his prestige, but presumably he's just similar to me, but he won one of the early games. I'm pretty confident in our mirror unless he has bees. He might have bees. He's a vineyard build that missed. Does he have shield skills for the shielded yo-yo? No. The Regal Blade's fucking terrifying, but I have a massive amount of health. I think I just kill him. This is what I was saying, where bees are super important to this build. You need the bees to trigger the vineyard twice every time your opponent does anything to guarantee the scaling. If you don't have the exact full build with the bees instead of his Regal Blade Kukri, you are so much weaker. The main reason Vineyard's not super oppressive is because you can't force all the pieces of that build, and if you only have most of it, it's tremendously less powerful. Anyway, let's check out some skills. Small weapon skill plus 18. Hey, boar market, don't really want you. When you crit, your weapons gain 20 damage for the fight. They have base 2% crit. They gain 2%, actually 4% every second. That seems like a lot of damage scaling. I'm gonna take that. I'm also gonna take 2 more experience. And go bully the Lord of the Waste again, I suppose. Poor guy. So the tooltips don't update in real time when the numbers are changing. We got to 28, 38% pretty quickly there, and our opponent didn't even do anything. I think that's a lot. Oh, I guess we're getting the diamond version anyway. Okay, the game was really committed to giving that to me, it seems. To take the max health. And rather than going to this, I'll go to Aerodrome, look for an enchantment or a skill vendor. Weapons is pretty minor. That's actually trash. Oh, we're pretty much out of money. I'm gonna take the temporary boost for health then. We should go to about 11,500 if this works, and it does. Okay, so there's another one immediately. We're at 11.6k. Does the second one work? Yes. So I'm not sure what happened the time it bugged out, because it's bugging out right now. They shouldn't be permanent. But the time it did bug out, it didn't do anything. It gave you like 100 health. I've got no idea what that was. So they're a pretty good poison build by the look of it. Oh no, they're infinite. Can I kill them before they stack up? Because their infinite doesn't actually build up very quickly. This is the funny thing when you see an infinite that just isn't very big. I'm just more burst than infinite. Very funny, love that interaction. Also, bugged build shouldn't do that. Unlike the good, honest Crook build that I'm playing, I've got the moral high ground as a Crook user. How does that happen? I'm gonna go ahead and keep taking max health. It seems pretty good. 12.3k, huh? I'm gonna take income over the variety of garbage options I've been offered. Freeze items, experience, definitely experience. Do we kill Void Colossus? Absolutely. If he lives long enough for something to go off, it doesn't matter what he hits. If he hits Atlatl, I'll kill him with the rest of my build. If he hits Regal Blade, I'll kill him with the rest of my build. If he hits specifically Crook, I'll kill him with Regal Blade. Oh, it didn't even go off. That was also a possibility, but I wasn't that optimistic.
Believe you'll win.
Oh,
And you'll win.
yeah, I didn't get anything. That's just empty. Oh my god, we got it. When you slow charge an item 1 second, 1 speed on the Atlatl. You know what Languid Dunes does on an Atlatl? It slows 2 items for 2 seconds. My Atlatl now charges something else for 2 seconds every time it goes off, as well as the crippling power of slow 2 for 2. Jesus Christ, and yeah, I guess I'll take more gumballs. And I'm so paranoid at this point about fucking up and vendoring my items that I'm just going to go ahead and do it from stash. First round is actually very good. And the second round of gumballs is arguably better. Good crit chance. It's always funny when I'm playing Crook and I go to Fortis over and over again because I keep being offered Fortis against garbage and I could get a shielded yo-yo later. But we're gonna take Pearl's Dig Site because it's obviously much better.
Clothes, 'cause you're gonna get dirty.
I don't know what I'm looking for. It's not hard to beat the flail, really. Just gonna roll a couple of times and then leave. I don't think I'm gonna find anything. Starting health every hour? There's not a lot of hours left, my man. I didn't realize I was at 9 wins. We've been steamrolling a little bit here. It's effectively my last shop and my total goal doesn't matter, so I may as well roll it down. I'm pretty confident we're winning. Oh! Yeah, that one. The cannonade's pretty good. I should have seriously looked at that, but I like this Atlatl a lot. 383, slow 2 for 2, with slow charge and item 1, triggering the yo-yo for 271, which will double in damage after 7.2 seconds. Assuming they survive the onslaught of Regal Blade flail yo-yo hits as well. This guy has failed later in his run than me, and I feel so comically online.
Boring.
So this is what I complain about when I'm saying that you can really easily force a build that's reliant on early items. He has a freezing Atlatl. Shockingly, that's less broken than my Atlatl. He has more health than me, and also an anchor that just crit me for 8,000. So I will be going to the next fight, and that was enough to get me down to 0 prestige. So the run's still going. You know, sometimes your build crushes your opponent, but they just freeze your whole board with a frozen Atlatl. Crit effects, huh? I went back in editing to double check this. A lot of people erroneously claim that haste can allow a weapon to go faster than 1 per second, that 1 per second is the minimum speed of the item, but then when you haste it, it's effectively 0.5 seconds. That's not true. In this fight, you can see the Shadowed Cloak is hasting this after it goes off. I did not hit it with the slow from my Atlatl, and my Atlatl and his Atlatl, the bar is the exact same place. It doesn't do anything. Haste has no effect in terms of reducing a speed below 1 second. This is just common misinformation in the game. Also, I lost this because I gave his anchor rather, 100% crit chance. Anyway, I'm not sure I learned anything in this fight because frozen anything is incredibly rare and I'm never going to play around anchor because that card is terrible unless we end up in like the most high health peg meta of all time, which we are not currently in. Ignore what you're looking at, shut up. 12,000 health isn't even that impressive for 13. Crit effects are pretty much blank, so I go to 100% crit pretty quickly. Also, you could argue that I killed myself by giving his anchor 100% crit chance. I would argue that I was going to die eventually guaranteed since my board was getting chain frozen, but it is unfortunate. There aren't a lot of anchors to play around at the minute. I guess I'm gonna give the yo-yo crit chance. The Regal Blade should be at 100% crit by the time it goes off if I give it deadly. None of these upgrades are huge. Let's see if we can't avoid hitting somebody with frozen Atlatl or something similarly broken on the next run. Oh. Man, I'm gonna be real upset when I manage to lose with Diamond Coolant Leak on this Atlatl. This Atlatl deals approximately 650 damage per second, slowing 2 items for 2, charging 2 of mine for 1, and freezing 1 of his for 2. This is the most fucked up I've ever seen an Atlatl. Dude, I swear to God, they removed the pig skill that gives you gold as damage, and they added this garbage like Minimalist as a pretend nerf to Crook. They also added a bunch of property skills that literally don't do anything because Property Pig is unplayable when you can't find gold items reliably. So I guess I'll just leave the shop and be salty about it. I don't know that it's good gold items are as rare as they are. You can't reliably find anything at gold tier or above. And I feel like maybe they should not be that rare. Like, you shouldn't be able to force them, but they are so far in the opposite extreme right now that Property Pig is completely dead. Whereas the other end of the spectrum, at low ranks, like, yeah, you can just plan to have Diamond Crooks and Regal Blades. It's not a problem. I'm just gonna upgrade the Crook because he fucking deserves it. I'm not even reading the rest of this. Parl can give me a replacement for spices, a replacement for the flail. Got nothing else to do with my money.
Dunes? Where shall we
That
start?
is not it, Chief. It'd be funny to take Life Preserver, but I mean, fucking sure.
In a museum.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
I guess you can keep it.
This has been a lot of high-ranking magnifying glasses onto that. It's kind of ridiculous. If I buy the XP, it will get me the level up for the fight, and it is my final fight one way or the other. Best possible upgrade. Sell everything in my inventory. take 2,000 more health. All right, this pig's been on death's door for longer than I have, which implies his build is more broken, and I might just be instantly dead to Vineyard. We'll have to see.
I should warn you.
100% crit does nothing for a Vineyard build, so I might be able to overcome it if I'm initially higher than his Vineyard build. He's not Vineyard? Your Crook, you stabilized on this Crook build? He also has heavy Atlatl. He does not have diamond coolant leak though. Yeah, I am the vastly superior Crook build. He does have a bigger Regal Blade, but you'll notice it got nowhere close to going off.
Chasing you.
Oh man, we didn't even live long enough for the weights to go off. Or sorry, the spices to go off. The spices were so useless, man. They'd have been so much better as any other item because every fight was won before 8 seconds in. But theoretically, against like a shield scaling dually, they would have been good. What an absolutely egregious card this Atlatl was. Triggering the yo-yo every second, triggering coolant leak for 2 frees every second, triggering thick hide twice a second because it slows 2 items for 2 instead of 1. This thing was absolutely nuts, which is very often the case with a Crook build. Crook isn't about Crook dealing too much damage. Crook is about enabling Atlatl and yo-yo more than anything else. And when you miss those, you're like enabling flail, enabling Javalian longbow. Even just pushing damage on a deadly Regal Blade is acceptable. Well, a Regal Blade in general. The deadly part's unimportant. But in a nutshell, this is what's wrong with the current patch. You can sit down to play Pig or Dually with the express intent of forcing either a Crook build, a Regal Blade build, or a Armadillo build. And you will, with alarming consistency, make that happen. And these builds are so strong that you will bulldoze to 10 wins in the vast majority of your games. Not only does Vanessa not have a comparable forcible build, but all of her builds are reliant on or beaten by bugs. Crit Vanessa is only good because her items aren't abiding by the ICD, and that's a bug. Poison and Burn Vanessa gets steamrolled by Armadillo because of Bunker, but the Bunker affecting those items when they apply the dots is wrong. It shouldn't be doing that. They actually should be a much closer matchup. I think Armadillo would still be favored, but the fact that it's winning right now so aggressively is because not Armadillo, but because Bunker is bugged and applying its shield when you take a damage over time application as opposed for the actual damage. So Vanessa's in a really unpleasant spot where if you're playing Vanessa, you are being reliant on or countered by bugs in a ton of your builds. Pig and Dually have to actively self-sabotage to play something other than Crook and Armadillo. And all the cool late game builds are basically unforceable because the cool late game items are so much rarer than they previously were. And on the one hand, that's good because it means you can't force a build with gold and diamond items. You have to make do with what you have, and that's the whole sales pitch of Bazaar. But we're in a meta where you very much don't have to make do with what you have. You can commit to Crook and Regal Blade on day 1 before you even seen your starting item and know that it will almost certainly work and be better than the alternatives. Like the entire reason that we're complaining about Armadillo Crook meta is because the Vineyard meta that is hiding under the surface of that doesn't happen because you have so many different pieces that you need to find and upgrade that it's much less reliable to force the perfect Vineyard board, even though it is far more oppressively powerful than what I'm currently showing off. And that's good. The most broken things shouldn't be consistent, and that's the whole problem right now. Anyway, tomorrow for Tuesday, I won't be uploading a video for this. I love the game, but I need to wait for the next balance patch. I can grind the game, but I cannot enthusiastically commentate about the game in its current state. So no Bazaar upload tomorrow unless I decide to do something analytical, which may well happen, but definitely no gameplay. And my upload on Wednesday will be gameplay of the new patch coming out later than usual because I have to wait for the new patch to go live. Additionally, I'm going to be recording like 3 or 4 videos as soon as the patch hits, before people figure out the meta. Because day 1 of this patch was so much more fun before people realized Armadillo. Like 8 hours in, the meta settled and the game became pretty bad. So I'm going to be doing a lot of pre-recorded footage, more than I have previously on the new patch when it hits, so that I have more time to enjoy the discovery meta instead of whatever comes next. Who knows, maybe it's the Monitor Lizard meta. But for now, I'm done. I hope I wasn't too salty in this video. I hope you enjoyed it in spite of the fact that it really is just another Crook video, this time with much more analysis on why Crook is problematic for the meta, and more specifically, forcing bronze, silver builder rounds is problematic for the meta. Before I go, I need to give you the whole YouTube spiel. I would greatly appreciate if you did like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does help the channel grow, blah, blah, blah. Nobody really cares, but what I care about, what I'm tremendously grateful for, is the fine folks supporting me on Patreon as patrons and on YouTube as channel members. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.